Blog Talk Radio.
He is the last of his kind. All that remains of a once powerful nation. Some think he is a myth. Some believe he is the chosen one, who will bring balance to a world at war. And some will stop at nothing to destroy him.
Welcome, everybody, to Moorish Talk Live 100. I'm your host, Tarhaka Black. And tonight, our special guest will be Dr. Walter Williams and his lovely wife, Annetta. We will have Sister Emma McGowan with us, and hopefully Brother UL and Brother Darrell Rice should be joining us. We're dealing with a very special topic. Part 1, Classism, Sexism, Capitalism, Racism, and religion, and how these things affect us. We want to identify these things. We're going to break them open, get down into each one of these things, and we would like to encourage you to call in to the broadcast and let us know what you think. The number to dial into the show will be 310-982-4184. That's 310-982-4184. Press 1 on your phone. That'll give me an indication that you have something to say. We can open up the lines and bring you in, okay? All right. Classism, sexism, capitalism, racism, and religion. We're going to delve down into each one of those and so that we can clearly understand what it is. I mean, when you say classism, what is that? If you say sexism, what is that? Capitalism. Now, we know about capitalism and we know about racism, but we want to look at it from every conceivable angle. And we're going to do that here this evening. And before we get started, I'm going to go to these commercials. When we come back, then we're going into this broadcast. We're only dealing with part 1 because this is a broad subject, and we're going to try to get as much information out to you as we possibly can. Okay? All right. So y'all hold tight for a minute, and we'll be right back. Okay? Hold on. Setting up your trust is one of the greatest financial moves you can ever make for yourself and your family. Learn how to do that by visiting newdebtelimination.com. Our secure party and creditor package is the best, complete with everything you need to know and beyond. Don't hesitate to contact me, Tarhaka Black, for more information. 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's newdebtelimination.com. Now it's time to set up your trust. This is for very serious people only. If you're a serious individual, contact me, 904-303-9061. Visit newdebtelimination.com.
You don't have to lose your home due to foreclosure. You don't have to worry about child support. You don't have to be in credit card debt. Have no fear. Tarhaka Black is here at newdebtelimination.com. Got student loans, child support, mortgages? Contact someone who's got the experience and the knowledge to get you back under God's law. That's Tarhaka Black. He's been there, he's done that, and he can prove it. Just give him a call at 904-303-9061. That number again is 904-303-9061. And log on to newdebtelimination.com. That's newdebtelimination.com and get yourself free.
Hi, I'm Tarhaka Black. I'm not a lawyer and don't give out legal advice. But if you are looking for an opportunity to have your very own general post, your very own professional domicile, or if you need legal advice, go to www.newdebtelimination.com and look up top to your right. Click on the new custom page button. It's all the way over to the right. And right below the video on that page, you'll see the links for the general post as well as the link for getting legal advice. If you have any further questions, call me, Tarhaka Black, 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. That's 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everything you need is right at www.newdebtelimination.com. You're non-resident? Well, if you are, you need your own general post. www.newdebtelimination.com.
And now, back to the show with Tarhaka and Moorish Talk Live 100.
Okay, everybody, we're back. It appears that my special guest, Dr. Walter Williams, is in the queue, and I'm going to open up the phone line so we can get this dialogue underway. Area code 773. Dr. Williams, are you with us? Dr. Walter Williams, are you with us?
Yes, Brother Tarhaka, I'm here.
Okay, all right. Well, welcome, brother. We're glad to have you back on our Sunday broadcast, as we usually do, the last Sunday of every month. Glad to have you here. And you're fully aware of the topic that we're going to be discussing here today. This is a broad subject, and it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to take us a few times to get all of this stuff out.
Okay.
So you would like to... when we say, and this is just my question, so that the audience can get a clear and concise understanding. When you say classism, what are you saying? What do you mean when we say classism? What is that about in America here?
Well, classism is really the foundation of America. And what I'm saying about that is this. People are put into different categories by way of class. Us as Africans, we have a station in this country that they say, well, you should stay in your place. That means that you should stay in your class. The Chinese have a place in America for their class. The European has a place in America for their class. And every race that lives in America has a place that is called their class. And collectively, we call it classism. So classism, you have to start right there to understand that. But to go a little further in understanding classism is to understand that if an individual does not know who they are as a human being, then it is easy to put an individual in their class. If you understand that you are a human being born in this world as a human being, that you did not come into this world or was not created to come into this world by way of class. You came into this world by way of a human being. So just like a child comes into this world void of understanding and knowing prejudice, void of understanding anything about religion, so forth and so on. So therefore, going back to our ancient Egyptian ancestors, the great Imhotep. I hear an echo. So you understand what he said during the time of antiquity. He says, know thyself. So it's very important for one to know thyself. And once you understand who you are as a human being, then nobody can put you into a class. Because you didn't come here out of your mother's womb with the understanding as a human being that you have a place or a class or a classified identity. Man created that for man, to divide man, to confuse man, to control man, so forth and so on. So that's the very first thing you really have to know about classism, that it was created by man to control man, his thinking, his actions, and his identity. So therefore, man gave you the classification of a human identity. So therefore, if you know who you are and what you was born with, what you was given to at the time of your birth, you would never ever allow no human to classify you. So that, to me, is the essence and the foundation of classism. Brother Tarhaka?
Okay, now, Dr. Williams, that is a very clear and understandable description that you gave us involving classism. I look at it also as a means to deal with discriminating manner, so to speak. You know, when I say discriminating, I don't necessarily mean racism. I mean discrimination. You know, for instance, you know, I like strawberry ice cream, but I don't like chocolate swirl. I discriminate against that. My preference is strawberry and not chocolate swirl. So I've seen a situation here when they had the hurricane had devastated a part of Louisiana, and the people were running around, they were looting and doing all of these things. But I noticed that when the military came in, they didn't do anything to the looters. They walked right past the people running around with boxes, TVs, and stuff. They walked right past them, and they went into this area. It was a pretty exclusive area. I seen this big white house up on the hill. And what the military did is they went into this house and they marched out all the people that was in this house. These were all these quite wealthy people, Caucasians, and brought them all outside and sit them on the lawn and put the little plastic handcuffs on them, and went inside their home and confiscated all the weapons that they had in their house. And I thought that was very, very interesting. And you know, these people had purchased these weapons through the legal system by giving your information to these people and purchasing. These people have a record of you, your identity, the weapon you have, where the weapon is located, where it's being stored, and all these things. So they was able to, the military was able to get these records, go straight to these people's home, go inside these homes, and confiscate weapons that were purchased legally. I look at the class situation where they walk past the people who were considered to be of the lower class and went directly to these particular people. And I was wondering, I said, well, why these people weapons are confiscated? Why, I know they were able to do that, but the question still remains, why? Why did you walk past the people that you consider to be lower class people? You didn't try to confiscate their weapons, but you went to these people and took their weapons. So we have a very discriminatory system going on inside the United States, from what I can see. We have the upper class, and then we always hear people talking about the middle class and then the lower class. But just like you said, this is something that man has done, and he has put people in a box and classified them to benefit him. Well, in my opinion, I think it's totally left up to us whether we're going to be a part of a class or not. That's just the way I see it. You told me earlier that your wife Annetta was going to be with us this evening. Is she available?
Well, she had to go to an emergency meeting, and she realized that she had this meeting on tap until one of her friends called her and reminded her that she had to. They was looking for her in the meeting, so she ran out. She told me to apologize to you and the listening audience, and that she will make our next show.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, now back again to the thing about classism. To me, if you allow someone to put you in a particular class, and you don't do anything about that, you don't do anything to make it perfectly clear to them that you're not a part of a class system at all, and you are something totally different. You're a man. You're not a subject. You're a living, breathing man. You're not a corporate fiction. And I think that's the way everybody sees it going on. Is a lot of people are just simply not doing anything about their condition. They don't think it is necessary. They're not viewing it in the full context of a discriminatory situation that they're involved in. Very, very subtle. For instance, you get mail that come to your house if you pay attention. If it's from somebody, if it's from the light company, you pay the light, the water, the gas, or what have you. It's always addressed to the resident in all capital letters. Now, you and I both went to school. We both had third-grade grammar, and my third-grade grammar teacher taught me that a proper noun is always, when it comes to a man or a woman, is always spelled in upper and lowercase letters. But if all of the letters are capital, that indicates anything other than a man or a woman. That's a corporation. That's a fiction. That's a corpse. If you go into the cemetery and you look at all the gravestones, if you're ever there, hopefully you won't ever have to go there, but you'll notice that all of the letters on all the gravestones is always in all capital letters. That's because all the folks there are dead. So wow. if I'm a living man, why does my driver's license have my name on it? And what appears to be my name, it can't possibly be my name if we're going about the education that we got from our third grade grammar teacher. That couldn't possibly be talking to me. If my driver's license, my bank statement, my Social Security card, anything coming to me from the gas company, the light company, the motor vehicle, the bank statements, is always a capital letter. People that I'm doing business with, if I'm doing business with them, I'm always addressed as something other than a man. I've been classified as other than a man. I've been put in a class system as something other than a living, breathing man. But now what is interesting, and people can check this out, when you get mail coming to your house, most of us consider it junk mail that comes to your house, look at how you are addressed by the people who are trying to get your business. They always, when I get it, I look at it, they always have me addressed in upper and lowercase letters, referring to me as a living, breathing man. But when I do business with them, because I got a satellite, and they had sent me some stuff in the mail, and they would address me as a man, and upper and lowercase letters, a proper noun. But once I start doing business with them, I noticed that all the stuff that's coming from them now is addressed to someone else in all capital letters. That's another part of the classification that's going on that a lot of people are not paying attention to. I'm not dead. I'm not a corpse. I'm a living, breathing man. And so when you tell me, well, you owe me some money, and you go to the paper right here, and I look on that, and it's addressing somebody else, well, you got the wrong guy. You know.
Okay.
But you want to ask something else about the classism?
Well, it goes back to what I originally said, and now you are enforcing what I said, that human beings allow other humans to put them into a class. That's just like sorting mail. In other words, humans become sorted mail. Like at the post office, they have classified mail. They have ordinary mail. And they have classified postings and ordinary postings and so forth and so on. So if you know who you are, and that's where it starts at the very beginning of understanding who you are. Like you just got through expounding on what you know about classism. I'll get that echo again. And as you know who you are, then you refuse to allow anyone to put you into a class or classify you. So therefore, that's the first thing you have to really, really understand, Brother Tarhaka, is that you have to know who you are first. And if you know who you are, you will never, ever allow anyone to put you into a class. As I speak, no human on earth can put Brother Tarhaka Amana El Bey in a class. Why? Because he understands and know who he is. I would never allow anybody to put me into a class, me, Walter Williams, because I know who I am. So with that being said and understood, we cannot be put into a box. Inside of that box, you are sorted, like assorting mail, assorted mail, M-A-I-L. So therefore, when the post office worker receives mail from the outside, he sorts that mail to whatever classification that letter or package or whatever comes into his station where he's working. He knows what class or what area in the post office, which carry different sections that will receive the mail that comes into the post office, and he just takes it over there or sends it over to that particular place in the post office. And at that point, that mail is sorted according to the class that the mail came in. So humans are being treated that way around the world. And they are put into a box, into a classified box that will identify them as to the people or the person that they are by other humans. See, humans are doing this. Human beings are doing this to other humans. So Tarhaka Amana El Bey and Walter Williams will not allow humans to classify us because we know who we are. You don't classify me. You don't tell me who I am racially. You don't tell me who my ancestors are. I know who my ancestors are. If I didn't know who my ancestors are, I would be open and susceptible to someone putting me into a categorized box and situation. So therefore, I refuse that because I know who I am, Brother Tarhaka.
Well, this thing goes real deep, Dr. Williams, and a lot of people are not realizing that. For instance, most people are under the impression that in order for them to travel from one place to another in their automobile, just taking your loved one to church, picking up the children from the nursery or taking them to the nursery, or if you're going to the grocery store to do some shopping, or if you're traveling to visit relatives and stuff in your automobile. Most of us are under the impression that we need somebody's permission to do that. Now, we do that through getting a driver's license. So when you look at it, if you took that out of your pocket and you looked at it and you examined it very, very closely, if you had that in your hand, and I looked at it and I said, well, it's got a photograph on it. And I said, well, Dr. Williams, is that you? And you say, yeah, that's you. Well, in actuality, that's not you. That is the entire device was what I refer to as a norm. That is, first of all, it's property that belongs to somebody else, and it will tell you that. And second of all, it is an object that you've been led to believe that you need in order to travel from one point A to point B. And if you have someone in your automobile with you, according to the class system, they're going to want to drive say, number one, you're driving. It seems that your call has dropped. Number two, they are saying that the individual that you have inside of your conveyance is a passenger. Now, driver, passenger, license, all of that spells one word, commerce. So if you are traveling from your home to the grocery store in your automobile and your conveyance, you're not engaged in commerce. You're simply traveling. So why would you need somebody's permission to do something that you were born to do or have a right to do in the first place? You were born with the right to travel. You're born with that right. But once you get somebody else's permission slip, now you volunteered to be subject to their rules and under their jurisdiction, their rules and regulations and guidelines. You can now officially be taxed. You could be ticketed. The guest that you have in your conveyance in your automobile is no longer a guest. They are being regarded as a passenger, and they could be taxed. They could be required to identify themselves. All of this goes along with the documentation because you have volunteered to allow somebody else to interfere with a right that you were born with, which is the right to travel. Now, if I'm driving a city bus, if I'm driving if I'm driving a city bus, if I'm driving a school bus, if I'm driving a tractor trailer, any kind of conveyance where I'm engaging in commerce and business, now I'm classified as a driver and I'm operating in commerce. All this has to do with what we're discussing today, which is classism. So when you turn it around and you say, well, drive tractor trailer. I don't drive city buses. I don't drive school buses. I don't drive handicap vans. And I'm not engaged in any form of commerce. I'm going to take this license and I'm going to draw up a lawful affidavit and make copies of everything, and I'm going to send that back to the Secretary of State, the actual license, and either to the top Department of Transportation or wherever, and send the governor a copy while you're at it. Letting them know that I no longer have this in my possession. I'm canceling this contract. This is the mode of transportation. Here's a photograph of the mode of transportation that I'll be traveling in. These are the plates that I will have on my conveyance that I will be traveling in. So I need you to give me confirmation that this contract has been canceled, because I'm exiting commerce in regards to using your license, your permission to do something that I was born to do in the first place. And here's your license plate back. Here's your tag. Here's a copy of it. And go ahead and if I've sent this to the wrong place, please instruct me on where to send this stuff to. And I'll go ahead and send it to you. But please let your records reflect that I no longer am a part of that particular class act. I'll be traveling. This is how I'll be traveling. This is who I am. And so I will hold any and everybody liable in the event that my travels are interfered with or anything against my will involving my right to travel. And that's the way I look at that thing. Dr. Williams, you still with us? I see your call here.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, because they've been trying to, deal with this thing for the longest they don't understand, as long as they have that, if they're classified as a driver in that particular class system, most people are not involved in commerce. Most of us are just traveling from point A to point B. We're not running a taxi cab. We just traveling in our convenience. But what is happening is the roads have been blurred because people have not understood that they have to do something to declassify yourself. You can, after you get them back your property, you can go over to the DMV and tell them you need your vehicle deregistered. Now, I want to make sure that we've paid for this thing. We've discharged it, however you're going to do it. We need it deregistered, taken out of your system, because we're not a part of your class system. And then I'm going to take this as my property and put it, held as property in trust. So that takes me completely out of the system on me. And you pull me over, you tame me, it's already in the documentation, it's already been sent to the sheriff's department, it's been sent to the governor and everybody. So now we're talking about lawsuits. Now we're talking about lawsuits. As far as the insurance and all of that stuff, there's a way to deal with all of it. And so I just wanted to add that little tidbit, and that's just involving your permission slip. Because as long as you have that permission slip, you don't come to a complete stop at a stop sign, you owe me money. You don't cut your blinker on when turning right or left, you owe me money. If you don't cut your headlights on during a certain night, and I see you riding down the road, would you owe me money? And I could pull you over and search you. You never took dope a day in your life, but I say I found an ounce of cocaine in your pocket. You owe me money. You got to go to jail. I can search you. I can search your vehicle. I can take your gas, regard them as a passenger, and search them too, and lock them up too. All because you did nothing about that particular class situation.
Yeah, that's fair.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Most definitely. That's the name of the game.
That's correct.
Just pay attention. Anything come to your house, especially in the mail, if you get something in the mail, take a look at it. See what it's addressed to. A lot of people, they get excited. They send them a bill to the house, addressed to a fictitious person, because we have not defined the definition of certain words. If you look up the definition in a law book of the word person, and see what it says. You see what I'm saying? And we get excited. Oh man, they say I owe. No, they didn't. They could have been talking to you. That title there, that's not a man. That's not a man. It's not a name. in the first place.
Right.
I don't care what the level is. It indicated anything other than a man. We get run around it. I ain't got that kind of money. Lord have mercy.
Right.
They did me.
Well,
they
it goes
did me
back.
like that. They sent me a thing. When I started understanding this thing about how people were being classified, because I knew something was wrong. Because after I found out about the driver's license thing, got rid of that, and I created my own identification and created my own license plate and put on my vehicle and got out there in the streets and rode around and people running to me. And you know what? Because he's so used to all these people going one way, and he got this other sheep, he's going the other way. What to do with him?
Wow.
Then we deal with the mortgage people. The mortgage people, they were you on such. So I sent them a letter. I say, you and I both went to third grade grammar. We both attended school, and we both know the difference between a proper and improper noun. So could you please refrain from regarding me as a corporate fiction? I'm a living, breathing man. Please address me in this manner. And I wrote it out so they can clearly, from then on, address me. They said something else, and they all caps again. And then I called them on the phone. Then they told me, well, that's the way it come out on the computer. I said, that's a lie. I got a computer. I can write it in all caps, or I can write it in upper lowercase letters. From now on, anything you send here, send it to me in upper lowercase letters. They didn't want to do it. So I sent them some lawful affidavit. I said, we should get rid of all of it.
Wow.
We started, let's see, back in October, November, and December. By January, they sent me a letter of mortgage satisfaction. You ain't got to. We ain't trying to collect no mortgage from you no more.
What?
It's free to go. We, yes, sir. We sent it to the county recorder's office. They sent me a letter from there and stating there's no further action need to be done. That's the end of that.
That's amazing. The only way you can do that you understand who you are, number one. You understand your position as a human being, number two. And you understand the laws that's not visibly seen. But you know the law and the laws by examining the laws against the reality of something that you have studied, and you know that it works. In other words,
that's right.
Brother, you when an individual goes to school, they are trained not to think. So they are trained to follow instructions, and they prepare themselves for a job with this training that they get in school, that they mislabel and call an education. In fact, it's miseducation. But so they use this miseducated training that they get in school to fit into today's society that is set up by man. And that's where the socialist classism comes in. Therefore, if you don't understand that, then you'll get caught in that trap. So, but you have to study certain things. You have to go outside of what you've been trained to do. An individual has to know this, Brother Tarhaka. When one goes to school, the school system that's set up in the United States of America, once you learn your ABCs will enable you to read, write, and spell. And once you learn how to read, write, and spell by knowing your ABCs, and you learn mathematics, a certain amount of mathematics, then that's it. You're not going to get anything other than repetition after that. So they will entertain you in these schools until you reach a certain age. Take you through the grade levels by taking you through the emotions of the grade levels, not teaching you anything, because they already taught you back in kindergarten and first and second and third grade. That's it. So once you understand that you have been trained to get a job, that's what they train you for. Like when I was going to school, when you was going to school, teacher would ask you, what are you going to be when you grow up? Well, I'm going to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. And just I hear echoes of that. So therefore, they train you in the school system to get a job. That's what it is. So once you are trained, they send you through another and many more directions that you will comply and obey your training that you got in school. So therefore, what you're saying is that you went beyond your training and you began to study something that's not in your training ideology or your training curriculum. You see? So therefore, you know something that others don't know. So therefore, let's say you know something that the masses don't know. And that's where you come in, like you had to educate your own self. You went to the Tarhaka Amana El Bey's University. I had to go to Walter Williams, the University of Walter Williams, in order for me to know what I know and be aware of the things that I'm aware of, you see. So what you know, what I know, cannot be gotten in a school system because they're not going to teach you that, see. And once you understand what has happened to you and us as a people, then you know how to circumvent these and go around these different stumbling blocks and things that blocks you from understanding the system. They have created a system for us, and that means for all people. They call it classification, classifying. That means that they're going to put you in a box and classify you from that box. How much money you make as versus to how much the next person makes. So therefore, they put you in a category, you see, and they categorize you from that point. So I say to that is that, no, you can't do me like that. I know better. I know who I am, okay? And I know what you have done to me. I know what you have continued to do to me, but I reject that, what you're trying to do to me. You cannot classify me, okay? Because I know better. So that's what I have to say to that, Brother Tarhaka.
Well, I agree with you 100%, Dr. Williams. When I started out dealing with this classism situation, because I kept trying to figure out, I said, and boy, they had me in a deep box. I said, I need to make at least $15 an hour. If I can make $15 an hour, I could do this, do that, and the other. And but then I discovered that I was still in a certain class. So that wasn't the answer. The job wasn't the answer. And I had to come up with a plan, and it is provided with me with so much freedom to be able to know who you are and to be able to do your own investigation. Invest in your own education and get your own education and utilize what you learn. If a man or a woman know better, then you do better. I've come up into information that I've learned, and then I start making changes, and then other people, they say, well, I don't do that. Okay, well, that's fine. Do what you want to do. I know better, so I'm going to do better. I'm going to make the necessary changes. So, you know, when I was talking about the driver license, talking about the mortgage, for those people who would like to see this stuff for yourself, you can go over there to my website at newdataelimination.com. Just scroll right down the home page. Go all the way down to the testimonial section. Go beyond the testimonial section. You'll see the actual documents from the mortgage company and the county recorder's office. You also see the fiction, the corporate fiction that's registered with the state as a fictitious corporation. It's a fiction. It's not a man. And what's happening is people are being classified. They've gone along with the classification. You know, if your third grade grammar teacher told you the difference between a proper noun and an improper noun, and they told you that if all the letters are capital, that indicates anything other than man, including a slave, chattel, property, corpse. Well, if you ain't dead, then act like it. That's all you got to do. You know, somebody sitting up over here to me talking about, well, I need to talk to the dead guy over here. No. You got the wrong person. Same thing goes with people when you're a resident. You come to my house, there's no address on the house because I'm not a resident. I'm domiciled at a location. I'm a living, breathing man, and this is not my property. This is my home. Anything detached to any kind of system of classification has been detached. You know, one man, he had it was a man, this man, his name was Frank Knowles. Frank Knowles got on him about property. He said, well, y'all got me classified as a residence and a renting property. He said, I ain't renting that. He said, this is my land. I own this land.
Wow.
And he put it all in writing and gave it to him. And what happened was this man, he was out at, it was a wooded area, and a man shot a deer. And when he shot that deer crossed over onto Frank Knowles' property and fell dead. And the man tried to come on the Frank property and get the deer. Frank said, you can't get that deer. You trespass. You on my property. He said, yeah, but the deer right there, I could just get it. He said, no, you can't. You can't do that. He said, I see about that. He went and got the federal marshals and the game wardens and all of them. They came out there. They stopped right short of that property and told him, you can't set foot on that. You set foot on that, cross it on that property, I'm going to put you in jail. We'll lock you up. So, yeah, but he can't. They know who it was, and what they did with Frank, because I got the actual transcripts here. And what they did with Frank, they took his record and sealed him to keep anybody else from knowing that.
Okay.
He had the power to do as a man, but he couldn't get that deal, and the federal marshals couldn't set foot on there, and nobody else. He was not a resident. He's a man.
Wow.
Living, breathing man. And we volunteer for things not knowing about classism in America. Anytime you hear the word license, look out. When you hear the word registration, look out. You go fill out a job application, and they got on there black, white, Hispanic, and other. They don't have a section for Moors. They don't have a section for Egyptians. They got a section for
sure
Hispanic. And what is a Hispanic anyway? What is that?
There's no classification for Hispanic. None whatsoever.
No.
There's no classification for no Latino. None whatsoever. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
They call you by these different names to classify you and put you into a box. It's like sorting mail. When you go to the post office and the mail comes down the chute, a certain amount of mail is given to the employee. And he picks up that mail and he puts that mail into slots where that mail belongs in a slot so it can get to its destination and reach the person that is intended to be reached. So that's categorizing you. That's classifying you, putting you into a box. And that box will determine what class you're in and where you are located, and your name, your identity by way of name, and most of the times, and a lot of times, it identifies that person as to what neighborhood he lives in, and therefore that neighborhood will tell others what race you belong to, because there's a certain amount and a kind of races of people that live in that neighborhood. You see? So you can tell whether that's a white neighborhood, whether there's a African neighborhood, and they call black neighborhood, whether it's a Latino neighborhood that they call Hispanics, you see? So, and then they go by name. There's another thing, Tarhaka, names, you see? If you see somebody named Luis Ramos, well, you know quite naturally that he is a Mexican, Puerto Rican, or any type of person that lives in a Latin country or comes from a Latin country by way of his ancestors, you see? And if you see somebody whose name is Moses Maklovich, for instance, you know that person may be from Poland, may be from Russia or somewhere like that. So, then categorize. And if you see a person by the name of a Walter Williams, you know that name. Usually, that name Jones, Thomas Jones, Henry Johnson. You know that name to a most likely a person of color, as they call them. So you know names will also put you into a classification by way of names. You see, and then certain neighborhoods put you into a classified condition because certain people live in certain neighborhoods, and so forth and so on. So, yes, what you're saying is absolutely true, but you have to really study the subject of what we're talking about by way of being classified. You know, what is classification? It goes a long way to understanding what is and how you classify a human being. Going back to what I said, if you don't know who you are as a human being, what you were born with after you come out of your mother's womb, and know who your ancestors are, then you are void of the understanding of your own personal humanity. And then mankind, the white male can come along and set up a system called classified or classism. He can set up that system and put you in that system. See, because you don't know any better, because you went to his schools, you allowed him to teach your children, and so therefore he sets up all kinds of things in the name of normality. In other words, this is normal. This is normal in our society. This is what we do in this society, and things like that. So what do you do in our society? You set up sexism. You put religion in our society. You set up capitalism in our society. You set up socialism in our society, and you set up racism in our society. So therefore, this is what the human being out here that is called the white male. You see, so the white male has been in control of this planet that we call Earth for 2,350 years. 2,350 years. So it is time for us as a people to really understand who we are and who our ancestors are. Not where, but who they are. And once you understand those two things and really, really understand it, then you will never, ever allow anyone to put you, us, into a classified position or a classified identity. You can't do that. You won't allow that because you know who you are as a human being and you know who your ancestors are as being the ancient Egyptians. Brother Tarhaka?
You're absolutely correct, Dr. Williams, in knowing who you are. I would like to, at this point, before we go on, is ask the listening audience, if you have a question, don't hesitate to raise your hand. The number to dial into the show is 310-982-4184. That's 310-982-4184. Press 1 on your phone. That'll give us an indication that you have something to say. In regards to the subject that we're discussing, this is part 1. Me and Dr. Walter Williams are talking about classism, sexism, capitalism, racism, and religion. And we're going to get through these topics in great detail. So if you have a question, go ahead and press 1 on your phone, and that'll give me an indication that you have something to say. Now, Dr. Williams, this thing is really, really huge, and it's really, really deep, especially when it comes to law. And a lot of us, we simply don't spend any time in the law library. We don't invest in anything in regards to the law. I have sit down with attorneys here in my living room, and they are bona fide lawyers. They have the bar card. They're members of the bar, which is Foreign British Corporation. And I place documents before them. And they go through the documents, and some of them told me, say, some of this I have seen. But these particular documents here, I've never seen anything like this before. I say, well, you're a lawyer? They say, yes, I am. I say, but what they fail to teach you in law school was law. What they taught you was matters regarding legal and illegal, which has absolutely nothing to do with the law. Let me open up the phone lines at area code 312. 312, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. Good evening
Brother
to
Yoel,
you. Brother Yoel. Yes, sir.
Welcome, brother. Come on in, man.
Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much for allowing me to join the conversation. I kind of off on my time because I had to go pick up somebody out of town, so I expected to be back, but there's a lot of traffic out here, but I'll join y'all a little while.
Okay. All right. Well,
you were saying about them lawyers, them brilliant lawyers.
Yeah. Well, it's a system inside the United States. It's a legal and illegal, but it's masquerading under the term called law. You hear a term called law enforcement officer. Well, first of all, let's break that down. Let's look at the word officer. As far as I've ever known, all officers are elected people. You elect an officer. If you are in a church and you want to be an officer in the church, they got to vote on you to let you become an officer. Now, the sheriff is the only officer that I know of that exists in the United States. He's an officer. He was voted on by the people. The people have elected him as sheriff. He's an officer. But the rest of them are private contractors, and they all of them have hazard bonds and bond insurance and all of this stuff. And they are masquerading as officers. Now we look at the term law. Now, when you're talking about law, what is the law? The law only has 3 points. I don't hurt anybody or kill anybody. I don't destroy anybody's property, and I don't embezzle anything from anyone. Create some type of fraudulent situation with people where I'm robbing. That's the law. When you hear the word statutes and ordinances, and that's just what they are, statutes and ordinances. Don't have nothing to do with the law. The law don't show up until you show up as a living, breathing man, unless you're part of the class system of agreeing to be dead and walking around in corporate fiction. And judge asks you, are you James Williams? Yes, sir. Y'all step forward. Let me tell you how much time since you agreed to be dead. Let me tell you how much time I'm going to give you, how much fine I'm going to give you, and all these things. It's amazing. It's one of the most extraordinary things that I've ever seen in my life. You know, where people go along with it. You know, they don't. You know, we don't. First of all, we don't read the fine print. We don't challenge anything, and we don't have a position to present to anybody. So these are the things that we have to present. The credit card company, they give you an application to fill out. Long application. And we so tired, and the print so small, I'm just going on to fill it so I can give it to them. And then when they start hitting it with them high interest, oh, man, it's too much, man. And, you know, they got it on my credit report. And all. Well, you can read the fine print. You didn't object to nothing they said in the documentation because that's the contract. But what is very, very interesting and what most people don't understand about this class system is the United States of America does not interfere with your right to make contracts. The problem is we've been accepting everybody else's contract instead of creating our own contract and sending it the other way. Under the class system. Run around, this is your driver's license? Yeah, it's my driver's license. And plainly tells you on the other side of the driver's license that it's property of the state of Chicago, the state of Florida. It's not your property. They're going to suspend my driver's license. They're suspending your nut. They're suspending their property. Because you want, because you need their property, because you take the time to find out whether or not you were the driver or traveler or nothing else. You just went along with the program, so you got no complaint.
Well, you know, I think that on that, it's very easy for us to do that. You know, Tarhaka, when you've been brainwashed since you was a shorty into saying yes to that name, as you said. You know, that's what we don't understand right there. There's some other dynamics going on in the matrix that you don't know that's involved in the matrix. And since you were mentioning lawyers a little earlier, I mean, I've asked them. I don't care how many years they've been practicing, from 10 to 20 to 30 years, just about the little word bar, and they don't have a clue as to what that means. So, so they don't realize they got miseducated in law, just like we got miseducated in their public educational institutions. Same
That's
thing
correct.
happened to them.
All you had to do is ask one of them, are you a licensed attorney? Are you a licensed lawyer? No, they got a bar card. I ain't beating nobody up. We just trying to get this stuff out here on the table so people can understand what is happening to them. And we're starting with classism, and just like Dr. Williams just stated, you put you in a box. If you're in a box, you know, with all the rest of the apples, well, you just regarded as one of the apples in that box. You know, you gotta. First of all, the most important thing is education. If you invest in study materials for your own personal education, nobody in America says that you cannot go to Brother Yoel bookstore and buy Dr. Williams' book and read it and study it and learn it and use what's written in it. Nobody's saying you can't do that. So, in my opinion, I don't think we got no excuse. We got law libraries. We got the internet. We can purchase books. We can walk in a bookstore, purchase a book, take that book home, read and study that book, and start taking action based on information in that book. Nobody's gonna Not yet. Nobody coming to your house knocking on your door, and if you got a book in there, you under arrest. No, they ain't doing that no more. They used to do that. You better not be reading, man. So I think that it behooves us to invest in our own education. I think that every man in America that look like me and you need to have their own library in their house. Every man. I think we need to be able. Something we need to know. Yeah.
But when you, Tarhaka, I get you to trust me 100% with every facet of your life. It's very easy to get pulled into this system, into the matrix, and you don't know which way is up. So you don't know if when that judge asks you your name, is that you? You gonna say yes because it looks like and sounds like your name. They don't know any difference. So it's very easy for them to do that. And most people who even go through school, those that don't drop, there are those that drop out and those that finish the school. They don't pick up too many books after they graduate from college.
Well,
so they don't go back again and start into reading.
Most people do that because they don't understand how the brain works. See, the brain, you have to continue to put worthwhile information in the brain because the brain is like a bugger with a slow leak in it. You know, if you're in school, you're learning, you're reading, writing, arithmetic. Well, when you get out of school and going through life, you got to use those same things. The only thing that you got to do is change the information. You got to put in the right information. As far as the name is concerned, this is what people don't understand. The only people on the planet that can give you a name once you know better is you. You can give yourself a name.
Now, what I found is that when I look at lawyers and you share a little something with them, when you attempt to open their eyes, they don't seem to want to open their eyes. When you tell them a little something about that they don't know about law, they rather go back to sleep and continue doing what they're doing. Now, most of our problems have to do and pertaining to or connected in some way with law. And if they would just teach us that properly, we can turn around a lot of our problems right away. But they can't teach what they don't know.
That's right. They don't know it. And when you start telling them about the law, that short circuits them. They can't comprehend a man going in there and the judge say, well, how do you plead? Well, I'm not here to enter a plea. I'm a living, breathing man. I'm here to sell a tax matter. Whatever man that I owe, let this man come forward, sign his name on this document right here, clearly saying I owe him, and we get this matter settled. I'm not here to enter a plea. I ain't dead. I'm living. Your Honor, we got a problem up in here. But I had a young lady. She's a teacher. This lady got 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. And she called me and she's telling me, man, my landlord, he talking about evicting me out the house. And he done sent me a letter to go to court. He's suing me. I said, well, bring it over here. She came over there with the letter. And I looked at the letter. I said, you see anything wrong with that? No, everything look like it's in order to me. I said, well, does it say so-and-so? I said, that's you? She said, yeah, that's my name. I said, you sure? She said, oh, wait a minute. That's an all capital letter. No, that ain't none of me. I said, well, all right. I said, when you get in that courtroom, I said, because the man, what happened, she told the man, said, look, I don't have the money in my account right now. And if I write you a check for the rent, it's going to bounce. He said, I don't care. You just write the check. She wrote him the check and gave him the check, and he took the check and deposited the check into his bank account, and the check bounced. Then he gonna sue her. When she got down there and the judge called her name, she said, Your Honor, I'm here in regards to this matter. She said, but this is in all capital letters right here. This ain't none of me. That ain't none of me. He said, well, hold it right there. He said, I'm gonna reschedule your case to another day, and let her go. So when she got back, I said, now, when you go back, I said, the reason why he shut you down is because you blowing up the courtroom with the truth. I said, he shut you down, keep you from saying anything else while he robbing the rest of these fools. I said, he let you out of there. So I said, when you go back, he gonna have you in a little small room where ain't nobody gonna be around. I said, you tell him the same thing you told him when he was in that courtroom. She went and came right back. I said, well, why you it done happened that fast? She said, yeah. She said, me and him was sitting in the room, said that judge walked in there and jumped dead on that man and told him, she told you she didn't have no money and she wrote the check and that's what you told me? He said, you get out of here and don't come back in here with this mess no more. Both of y'all get out of here. I said, that's right, because he don't want you to cut loose with that double-barrel shotgun about them capital letters again. In the story. That's what happened. That's your first line of defense. Either you know who you are or you don't. If you know who you are, then act like it. I gave myself a name. Well, when I was born, my mama called herself giving me a name. They tricked her at the hospital. They gave us a birth certificate, told her to sign it. She thought she was doing the right thing. She didn't know she was selling me into slavery. She didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the birth certificate and all that business right there. So what I did when I found out about all this business, I switched. I got a name. That name is copyrighted. That name is patented. And any unauthorized use of that name makes you liable for a massive lawsuit. Now, what's on the birth certificate, that's my property. That's not a man.
Uh-huh. Well,
we just got to switch gears.
It's funny you said something a little earlier. You know, you're not that's dead, or you dead, or you're not alive.
Yeah.
Or now, I was reading a book. It was called The Essene Gospel of Peace. This was a book. This was a book called Body Politics. It's written by a guy named Terrence Laughlin, and I think he pretty much understood law when he wrote this book. And one of the quotes that he had in the book was supposed to be a story about Jesus, the fictitious character Professor Williams talking about, was confronted by some chief scribes and some Sadducees and some other priests, and they asked him by what authority did he do what he do, and who gave him that authority. And he said that the response was the law, that the words on the pages of the Bible are dead. That law is life. So I said, now that makes a lot of sense. So what you said earlier, I'm alive. The law is alive. It's in you. When you show up, that's when the law show up.
That's right.
Other than that, anything else on the words on a piece of paper or in a book called the Bible or Quran, that's dead. You are the light.
Well,
you are the law. I am law. So yeah.
Well, you are absolutely
correct. It took us a long time to learn this, though. You know.
What we're dealing with
up until then,
America
you was
when it
that
comes
straw.
That's right. This part of the class system. That's why we're talking about classism. And what we're trying to do is show everybody how deep this and broad this thing is. This thing is huge, man. It goes all the way across the board. You know something wrong when you walk in the cemetery and look at all the gravestones. Everything in capital letters. The reason why that's there like that is because those people are dead. when you get something in the mail from the bank and they're addressing you the same way, it's time to object. Wait a minute.
You know,
hey, I ain't dead yet. You got to say the lie.
One of the ways in which I attempt to prove that to people, I say, if you go to the bank, if you know your banker real well, tell them to spell your name in their computer, put your name in their computer correctly, the way you was taught to spell it in school, and see if the computer accepts it. The computer won't even accept it.
No, they got the world in a box.
And make it all capital.
Mm-hmm.
Not only would it be,
then
the other thing I tell them is I say, go to the cemetery, look at the tombstones, and look at all the names on the tombstone, how they spell on the tombstones. They in all caps, aren't they? Yes. I said, well, so what does that mean? That's a dead entity.
That's correct. When you get your paycheck, when they get their paycheck, get your magnifying glass, turn the paycheck over, and that line that you think is a line where you're supposed to sign, put a magnifying glass on there and see what it says. It looks like a line to the naked eye, but it say authorized representative, authorized representative. In other words, you are authorizing for the dead person that's printed out on the front of that check. So you a living man. Well, if we gonna do this thing right, so you get a check from the cashier saying, well, I'm gonna authorize this here on behalf of the dead. But what I need you to do is I need you to cash this in real money, silver and gold, whichever one you choose. Wait a minute, I gotta go talk to the manager. You better talk to somebody because it's gonna get hot up in here. Man, he run out there. Man, wait a minute now. You know we ain't got no money in here, man.
No, you would have to almost compel them to go talk to the manager because they're gonna think you crazy. They're gonna say, we don't do no stuff like that. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? That's what they're gonna say to you because I went to a Walgreens here in Chicago and I pulled out silver dollars to pay for my product. It was $1, silver dollar, and she thought I was crazy. I said, this is worth about, at that time it was $13 for an ounce.
$13 an ounce.
This is $13 here. She thought I was crazy pulling out a silver dollar, talking about paying for my products. Mm-hmm. She looked at that as $1. That's it.
That's right. I tell you what, it was this man. He got a notice from the Internal Revenue Service. He owed $10,000. He got $10,000 worth of gold coins and mailed it to the IRS. The IRS mailed it back to us. Said we can't accept this. You don't get us locked up. He gave the man his money back. And
really?
It's against the law for you to use silver gold. They done got all that out of the way so they can get the box closed on all the people that are put in the box. Like Dr. Williams say. Wow. Dr. Williams, you still with us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We hear you loud and clear. You want to weigh in on some of this and stuff, man?
Well, what you all are saying is right on target, and what you all are saying and what you are saying is right on target, and especially where the topic that you brought up with the lawyer that you encountered, and you asked him that question about, his law license, whether he was licensed or not, and he couldn't answer that because technically there's no license for a lawyer. He has a bar acceptance. If he passed the bar down, then he will pass the bar. But that doesn't give him a physical license that only allows him to practice law according to the state that he's in. But before he's having a license, only thing he has on his wall is his diploma, from the school that he graduated from, the law school. But a license to practice law in the state that he resides in comes from the Bar Association. Okay?
That's right.
So that makes people give it an illusion to people that he is a licensed lawyer. No, he's not. You know, so that I think is very, very poignant and very important to bring out. So both of you all are right, and I agree to what you're saying because it is so much needed in our community. Like I said before, if we don't know who we are and know what nationality that we identify with, we don't know who we are as a human being, don't have no nationality to identify with as what area of manhood that we belong to, you're going to miss the boat. You won't understand these things. You have to understand what happened to us. The school system.
Somebody, hold on, Dr. Williams. Somebody got is on the road with the car window open or something? I hear this hissing sound in the background.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Williams.
Yeah, so you have to, again, one has to create an outside study for themselves. In other words, you always say invest in yourself. Invest in yourself by buying books to expand your knowledge base. If you buy books and expand your knowledge base, that means that you're evolving and not revolving. So in order for you to stop revolving and start evolving, that you have to invest in yourself. Because you have to realize that when you went to school, the school system on purpose miseducated you. You know, they gave you a training for you to abide by the rules of the training. You know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. Well, that's you're going to train for that. That school does not give you knowledge. So therefore, if you want to expand your knowledge, you're going to have to go and get you some books, begin to read, and you have to begin to comprehend what you're reading, and you have to ingest and internalize what you're reading, and what you're going to have to take in the information that you need to sustain yourself and make yourself evolve and grow. And if you see something in the books that you don't need, then you just disregard it and get and compile information that will create a school system within your own endeavor and thinking. You see, that you created. You create your own school system and your own curriculum by deciding what subjects that you want to know about, expand about, understand about. And that, when you do that, you begin to evolve and come to the point of realizing what Brother Yoel is saying and Brother Tarhaka is saying, and also what I'm saying. So you all and us, we are on the right track. So that's what I have to say to that.
Okay. All right. I got another caller with his hand raised.
Let me interject something right quick, Tarhaka. I just found out last week that there's no judicial or no legislation that created the office of a lawyer in the first place. It was put together. The Moorish American Bar Association was formed by about 75 to 100 lawyers somewhere in upper New York. You know, I forget the year right now, but there's nothing that created an office called a lawyer in the first place.
Yeah, well, see, if he's a lawyer and he's gonna deal with law, he got 3 points to deal with. But lawyers are dealing with legal and illegal, which don't have nothing to do with the law. All of that has everything to do with the dead or the people who are agreeing to be dead. That's what that's about. I got a caller with his hand raised at area code 202. I'm gonna open that up. 202, you on the air. Tell us who you are, where you calling from, what's your question or comment.
Hello, Brother Tarhaka. How you doing today?
Hey, how you doing? Fine.
I'm good.
What's on your mind? Tell us who you are first.
Yeah, this is Julius. I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And my message is for Walter Williams.
Okay.
Walter Williams, thank you very much for what you are doing. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming to this show once a month, because you are putting information out there that we need. I mean, I'm a young man, and I need this information you are passing on. And I'm originally from Nigeria, and I'm taking this message back home to tell my people. You understand? So I'm changing lives one at a time, coming out from the church every day, one at a time. I stop going to church. So my question for you is this. As soon as I stopped going to the church, I had a dream. The picture of the dead white man on the cross appeared in my dream and told me that, look at me, I am real, I am Jesus. Go back to church and serve me. So when I woke up from the sleep, I found out it was a dream. I was scared. So I said I'm going to ask you, that is my one question. I have another question, but if you can answer this for me very quick, then I'll come with my other question. So let me rephrase the question again. The dead white man on the cross appeared in my dream and told me, look at me, I am real, look at my hands. This is Jesus talking to you. Go back to the church and serve me. Walter Williams, how do you explain something like this? Please, can you tell me your opinion, please?
Well, I can't explain that. If I ask you and tell you about a dream or tell you that I saw a ghost last night, and ask you how do you explain that I saw a ghost? You can't do that. Okay, so I don't know what's happening in your life. I don't know what happened in your life to bring that about. So that's something I can't answer. You would have to figure that out yourself. And you're the only person on earth that can do that. But if you understand that there's never been a man that walked every human form of any race, creed, or color by the name of Jesus Christ, and you got my book, you read my book, and I explained that to you in the book, and also you've heard me on talk radio shows such as this one and others that I'm sure that you heard me on, then you can realize after studying this, that there's never been a man by the name of Jesus Christ that ever walked this earth in human form. Not only has there never been a man that ever walked the earth in human form by the name of Jesus Christ, there's never been a prophet Muhammad of Islamic tradition that has never walked this earth in human form. There's never been an Abraham, an Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Gideon, Esau, David, Solomon, or Joshua, or any biblical characters named in the Bible ever walked this earth as human beings. So if you understand that you, my brother from Nigeria, it was never, you didn't come here with a religion. You came here with an indwelling divine spiritual birthright that was given to you by your mother and father who created you. And for 9 months, you were incubated in your mother's body to come out at the end, attach your umbilical cord that was cut by the doctor to separate you from your mother and thus giving you life at that time. That's what you had at that time, because that umbilical cord fed you 3 things: food, water, and air. So therefore, if you understand that you, my brother from Nigeria, was not born with a religion. Man gave you the religion to control your thinking and your actions. So all you have to do is look in the mirror at yourself and say, and call your name out and say, I was not born with a religion. I was born and given an indwelling divine spirit that's still inside of me at this very moment that I'm looking in this mirror. And that indwelling spirit is your individual divine spiritual birthright. And you said to yourself that I was not born with a religion. Man created that religion for me. So I can't explain what the voice that you heard or the experience that you experienced by the statements that you made that you heard from this voice telling you about go back to church and Jesus Christ. And so if you want to do that, you have the perfect right to do that. I, Walter Williams, are not trying to tell any person that wants to be a Christian not to be a Christian. I have the right to do that. Why? Because I didn't tell you to be a Christian. Okay? That's what your parents choose for you to be when they pass the disease and virus on to you in your early child innocent age. And you couldn't say, Mom, Dad, I don't want to be a Christian, but you received this out of you not being able to reject it. So therefore, you grew up in the church and you believe all the lies that's coming from the mouth of the preacher and so forth and so on. So here you are today and asking me this question. I can't answer that. That's like asking you to explain that I saw a ghost last night. Now, where did that come from? You can't explain that. So that's my answer to you, my brother.
Okay, Walter Williams, I thank you so much. That is a great answer you gave me. And my conclusion to that is I believe I think about it too much, so I dream about it. I believe that's what happened. I think about it too much, so I dreamed about it. So
so if you don't want that, if you understand that there's never been a man that walked around in uniform with a race creed or color, my name was Jesus Christ, dismiss it.
Right.
You know, and get it out of your life. And keep and keep evolving. That's what you want to do. You want to evolve away from that.
Right.
Okay?
So I bought your two books. I've read the two books, and I read the Outline of History, Volume 1 to 9, and the original Torah. Dr. Williams, I am 100% sold out for you, and I know exactly what you are saying. You are saying the truth.
Okay.
Assess your work out. When you say I did not believe you, I start reading books, and I come back to you that Walter Williams is 100%. Assess your work. I read all the books. All the books I read there. And I come back to you. I thank you so much. Now, if you give me a quick answer, I appreciate the answer. I have another question, Walter Williams. I have one more question. Yes, my other question is, so you said the ancient Egyptians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like somebody like me who are from Nigeria, right? Because you said the Africans are Africans, you know, they are not the ancient Egyptians. So do you look at, are we part of the ancient Egyptians, or we are just, well, you are from Nigeria, you are not part of the ancient Egyptians? It's just a question. Can you answer that for me, please?
You see, we have to separate ourselves by identifying ourselves by way of words. Now, you have, at this very moment that I'm speaking, the white Arab that's living in Egypt. He is saying that he is an Egyptian. He is an Egyptian because he lived in the continent of Africa, in the country called Egypt, in the continent of Africa. But his ancestors did not build the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx and create mathematics and brought forth civilization to all of humanity. His ancestors didn't do that. Our ancestors did that. So therefore, we have to identify and separate ourselves from the white Arab over in Egypt today and say, we are African ancient Egyptians. Okay? So now what qualifies an individual to be a descendant of the ancient Egyptian? The qualification for that is that you have to be African. And if you are Nigerian, you can say, you can claim ancient Egypt too, because you're an African.
Okay. So my ancestors come from ancient Egypt, right?
Ancient Egypt and Nigeria.
Okay. I just want to be clear because, right, I just want to be clear because since I'm from Nigeria, I know my family, I know my great-grandfather come from Nigeria. So are we part of ancient Egypt or we are just Nigeria? You know, so I'm a bit confused. That's what I think I should ask you.
Yeah, you can claim both. You can claim ancient Egypt because you're an African. And you can claim Nigeria because your grandfathers and your parents and so forth and so on came from Nigeria, but you're still an African. You see, when the white male come to tar and feather us, okay, he's going to bring that same rope for you too. When he calls us a nigger, he's calling you a nigger too. He don't care about you being born in Nigeria, but your skin. We share the same skin. We share the same continent. My brother, you were born in Nigeria, and I, Walter Williams, brother Tarhaka Black, and brother Yoel, we were born in America. But we're still the same. We're Africans. We're all Africans. So when they call us a nigger, they're calling you one too. They're calling all four of us one. You see? So you can claim ancient Egypt as long as you're an African. If you're not an African, you cannot claim to be a descendant of the ancient Egyptians. because
Wow.
they are African.
Wow.
Right in there. Let me interject something here for a minute, fellas. If you get and you go online and just go ahead and when you get a chance, download or read online the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and it tells you in there that every man has a right to a nationality, and it also says that every man has the right to change his nationality.
Okay.
That was put out by the United Nations. We also have, they made quite a few statements, but nationality is very, very important, and you have a right to choose, especially if you've been disenfranchised. Like we got people here in the United States that look like me and you that's classified as Negro, colored, black, African American, Afro American, and anything other than a nationality which is associated with a landman. You see, we have labels and stuff that's going on. But it's totally left up to you.
That's correct. And see, another thing I'm going to bring out, you have people walking this planet today who have dual citizenship. Okay? Right. So therefore, when you identify yourself as an African ancient Egyptian, make sure you put African ancient Egyptian in it. And also, I'm a Nigerian, okay? So that by you being a Nigerian and being African, that qualifies you to be an African ancient Egyptian if you choose that. You see that? You can choose it because you have the qualification to do just that. See? So you can have a dual identity. There's nothing wrong with that. I can claim to be a Nigerian. Why? Because I'm an African if I want to.
Right.
I can claim ancient to be the descendant of ancient Egyptians because I'm an African. So that goes for you too, my brother. Okay? So that's
wow. Okay. Because I have a Nigerian passport and I have a United States passport, so I'm like a dual citizen. So I kind of understand what you're saying.
Great.
Yes, I understand it. Thank you, Walter Williams. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for waking me up from my sleep. Thank you for waking me up from my sleep. I was sleeping and you woke me up.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Walter Tarhaka.
You're quite welcome, my brother. Keep on evolving, okay?
We are listening. Yes, we are listening to you guys. We are a lot of us. We are listening.
Okay.
Please, Walter Tarhaka, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Walter Williams. I'll be listening, so I'll take my hat on the air. Thank you so much.
Okay, and I also want you that we love you, okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Meow Hotel.
All right. Brother Yoel, we're still back, and I'm going to take a little quick break, and keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are open, 310-982-4184. That's 310-982-4184. Press 1 on the phone. That'll give me an indication that you have something to say. We'll be right back. We're going to take a little quick break, and we're coming right back, okay? Hold on.
Okay. Before you rush out to save the world, have you made up your own bed yet? Does being a secured party make you invincible? The answer is no. But what are the benefits of being a secured party? Go to www.newdataelimination.com. That's www.newdataelimination.com. Or call me, Tarhaka Moneo Bay, directly, 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll be a secured party creditor, but the most important part about all of it is knowing what it is and knowing exactly what to do with it. That's extremely important. www.newdataelimination.com.
Okay, we're back. Brother Yoel, you got something to add involving this classism thing, man?
Well, yes, there's an angle that I don't know if y'all mentioned it before I came on or not, but the eugenics society They kind of they create this class thing because one of their primary beliefs is that they believe in selective breeding. Okay, which which means that they don't believe that everybody should be breeding, having babies, children. Okay, so that's a form of class ism. Okay, when you can tell, so when you want somebody else can make the decision whether or not another person have the right or should breed. Chicago, ironically, has one of those institutions that is supposedly so-called prestigious institutions here that participates in that, called the University of Chicago here in Chicago. The University of Chicago is an institution that does that. That's on a daily basis one of the things that they participate in, and as well as this is one of the top think tanks for eugenic society, as well as top think tanks for the Midwest when it comes to trying to manipulate and control the masses of the people. You know, so that may be an element that people don't pay attention to. Of course, the money is kind of puts you in a class because your lack of, or you having money and you're believing and thinking that you're better than somebody else because you got it. Ironically, I saw something on TV the other day, and I had an occasion to look at Dr. Phil. I think it was Friday. Had some kind of mental kind of issues, and his friend or relative had brought him on there to get him some help. But one of the things he said that really shocked Dr. Phil and the audience, he told him, he said, look, just because you got a show and these people call you Dr. Phil don't make you no better than me. And he didn't know what to say to that. He didn't know what to say to that. He said, well, you're right. But that's of course, if we buy things like that, we'll allow these people, we'll get into the same bed as the Caucasian does, and we'll get to determining that, or making other folks believe that we're better than somebody else because of money, degrees, and other things like this that they use to try to separate or divide people with. I'll never forget an occasion when I was out in the park at a festival and I had my books out there, and a lady came up to my booth. She was looking for a book, and I told her I had the book, and I gave it to her. She looked at the book, and then she gave it back to me. I said, that's a good book. She said, this was years ago. She said, well, a book has to read this way or that way, and it has to have an introduction, and it has to have all of the little forward and all of this kind of stuff. I said, but the information in that book is good. She said, no, look, I got 2 degrees. I got a degree in such thing. I said, yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you very much. And I ended that because I know I was dealing with an uneducated fool from an uneducated school.
That's right. That's correct.
So,
just let you know right there up front that I ain't got no sense. Amazing.
She just swallowed the hook.
The
she had swallowed the hook, line, and sinker.
That's right. The class system is the most amazing thing, and it blankets the entire planet. You mentioned in the eugenic society, and I try to encourage people to go on your computer, get in your automobile, and travel through the city and see how many abortion clinics that you see in throughout the city, and see where they are strategically located, and then make a notation of the clinics that deal with people that has diabetes and high blood pressure and stuff of that nature, and you can see these clinics and because all of this stuff, see, these things are created. The condition is created. And then they make money off of the creative condition. They make money off of providing you what you think is a solution. But all it takes is a little common sense. If you go into a hospital, well, just take the day off, just walk into one and go straight in there, find out where the cafeteria at, and go in there and look and see what's on the menu in the cafeteria in the hospital, and see who eating it. You see, that'll tell you a lot. Just like going in the grocery store, you look around and it's full of stuff that we are calling food. But then there's an aisle that say the health food aisle. Well, if this is the health food aisle, what is the rest of this stuff? It's just common sense things that we have to look at. You get something in the mail, take a look at it. Before you hit the ceiling and see who it's addressed to. Is it addressed to the living or the dead? We got to start changing. When you know better, then you start doing better. It doesn't do you any good to find something out and then don't do nothing about it. You find something out, then you do something about it. I did research on moringa powder, so when I eat food, I put moringa powder on my food. I did research on Haritaka food and what it was and what it does, and now I drink a Haritaka. When you know better, you simply do better, and you make the necessary changes. But the only individual that's responsible for prolonging your life should be you. People they had this thing in their mind. Well, the doctor he prescribed this and that. Okay, well, what did you prescribe for you?
Right.
What you doing? You come to my house and look at the medicine cabinet. Ain't no pills and stuff in there. Ain't none of that junk in there. Because I'm responsible for my health. I'm the one living in the body. I'm the one that got the brain. I got to make my own decisions. I got to take care of the body. I got to make the necessary changes about the air that I breathe in my environment. I got to make the necessary changes about the water that I drink. All these things are under my control. But when we start loaning ourselves over to somebody else to diagnose and direct our lives, that's when we start getting in trouble. You got some people out there on 20, 25 different pills that they're taking. All of them made in the laboratory. And the more they take it, the worse they get, the sicker they get. They're making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because people are refusing to take full responsibility for their own lives. They refuse to take responsibility for their own lives. I got books on natural and holistic medicine and stuff. I got it right here in the house. I get in there and I look in the book. If I get some kind of ache or something, I deal with that. But it's something that we have to take responsibility for. I see. I'm gonna open up the line at area code 415. 415. You're on the air. What's your question? Comment? Tell us who you are. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from San Francisco, and I've been listening to you guys.
McGowan, how you doing? Welcome, sister.
I'm fine. But anyway, okay. So I come in on this one because other stuff I didn't know too much about.
Okay.
But,
well, let us have it.
Like people, like where you talking about the people and what they should do for themselves. I agree because just like I tell people, I live with myself 24 hours and 7 days a week. I'm the only expert on me.
There you go.
So how can somebody else be an expert on you when they don't even know you?
Yeah.
But we've been taught not to have that responsibility.
That's right. People who constantly going to the doctor, the first day of my way, the doctor say my pressure was good. The doctor said, well, what didn't they do you say about it? What you gonna do to keep from going back to the doctor again? You get it. In my opinion, and this is just my own personal opinion. I believe the only reason you should go to the hospital is if you get a broken leg or a gunshot wound or something like that, as soon as they get that healed up, get the hell out of there, because that's not a place for the well. That's a place for the sick. Because everybody in there, and you know something wrong, because you can go there on Monday, and you see a big crowd of people in there. They look down, they look sad, they look sick, they're waiting to get medication, and you come back the next day and see another crowd in there. Well, when are we going to see some well people?
Right.
When are we going to see some people that's happy, exuberant, and excited, and full of life? You don't see nothing like that anymore.
No, but people don't realize the body is. But people don't realize the body is smarter than you are. When the last time you told your heart to beat? When the last time you told yourself to go to the bathroom? Your body tells you, then you go to the bathroom.
That's right. We had to deal with prevention. Yeah, you can get a cut. We run around and seeing stuff, we fall down and scratch our leg, I get a cut or something, and the body automatically goes to work sealing up the wound.
Right.
It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's fighting to be well. If the body was made to be cut open to have a zipper on it, but we're responsible for ourselves by dealing with prevention. What is the body designed for? The body is designed for fruits, vegetables, nuts, berries, legumes. When you put something in your mouth to chew, it has to be chewed until it turns into a liquid, because the body is made out of cells. In order to feed the cells, everything you put in your mouth had to be turned into a liquid. So when we know these things, then we start doing these things. You want to deal with prevention. What is it that I'm going to do to prevent myself from being sick? If I have low energy, what can I do to get better energy? What am I doing on a daily basis to maintain life? These are the things that we have to be concerned about. But a lot of times we just are so concerned about what tastes good, what feels good, and instead of looking at the situation from a different perspective, what are we consuming that promotes life? That's going to make me not only feel good today, but tomorrow I need to feel good tomorrow too, and the next day and the next day. Whatever we're doing, I think that we should do it. If we're doing something, we want to do it in moderation. We gotta take care of the body. Let me open up area code 312. 312.
No, that's me. You lost me. The call dropped. I just got back in.
Okay.
That's all. But when the thing that we're talking about right now is just like the law thing. We've been taught to leave that to other people. We don't pay attention to our own bodies. Like the body is like the weather. It's really predictable. That's why they got these weather men who forecast the weather because nature is consistent. And if you pay attention, it does the same thing every year. I'm getting feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we don't synchronize with it. We don't pay attention to it. We leave it to somebody else, and we go to somebody else to tell us what we know. Like she said a minute ago that she's the only expert on her body. Okay?
That's right.
Because she's the only one that lives with herself 24/24.
Mhm.
But that means that you got to pay attention to your body and what's going on with it. You got to learn it, the signs, the symptoms, the signs, and you can become your own doctor and self-diagnose.
That's right. But if you're part of the class system and you are following somebody else's advice about what you supposed to do, I remember she's passed away now, but I had a cousin, And she was throwing up, just kept throwing up, and the mom said, you got to go down there to that clinic. She went to the clinic, and when she came back, mom said, well, what did the doctor say? Well, he told me there's nothing serious, that I just had a touch of pregnancy. And but it ain't, I ain't really pregnant. I just have a touch of it. Her mama said, let me tell you something. You've been touched already. She didn't know no better. She was dead serious. She had a touch of pregnancy, but there's nothing to be concerned about. It was just a touch. But anyway, we had to take our body seriously, because the body, it gives you signals. It gives you signals when you need to drink water. You also need to be cognizant of what it is that you can put in the body on a daily basis. What does your diet consist of during the run of a week? What are you doing about flushing out the system? What do what natural organic things that you're doing? The skin is the largest organ on the body. What are you doing with that? How are you cleansing it? How are you getting the pores clean? You might need to consider the type of soap and stuff that you use. All of these things is a part of life that we can take control of to prevent problems from happening, instead of being a part of a class system that's dictating to you that if you need, if something's wrong, well, you need to go to the doctor. You got a cold, you need to go to the doctor. You need to find out, this, that, and the other. Well, why don't we pay attention to the signals that the body's already giving you? And let's do something about that prior to ever going to the doctor. Take full responsibility for you, being that you the one that living in the body, is with you every day, 24 hours a day. You put it to bed, you wake it up, you walk with it, you run with it. Why should you allow somebody else to dictate something about your body when they don't know nothing about you? That's the way I look at it. And it goes with everything else. In my opinion, I think everything needs to be investigated in this country. Everything. If it's law, we need to investigate it. We need to learn about it. If it's religion, we need to find out what's going on. I mean, all these churches we got in America and the murder rate going through the roof, something wrong.
Right.
Well,
Brother Tarhaka?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I hear. Yeah. I would like to, with your permission, to let Sister Emma McGowan come in and give us her take on classism. Okay?
Okay.
I still hear echo. And I would like for her to give her expertise on classism without being interrupted as she speaks. Let her just speak.
Okay.
And when she gets through, just turn it back over to you, and then you can take it from there. So, Sister McGowan, you're there, and I know that you're there. So, what is your take, my dear, on classism? We have the floor.
See, it's like, I don't know if it's one specific classism. See, I'm not sure what you mean by classism. Kind of explain it to me.
Well, classism is a man-created entity that puts humans in different categories by way of class. Okay? If you a white-collar worker, that means that you're in that class. If you're a blue-collar worker, you're in that class, And if you are a minister of the church, then you're in that class. You're in a different class than the assistant minister. And the assistant minister, you see the deacon, and so forth. So classism, and then you got racial classism, and things like that. So what's your take on that? And we're going to give you the floor without interrupting you as you speak.
But, I think, you know what I think? I think it's all ridiculous. And I remember when we were kids, we used to get out of school, and our theme song was "School out, teacher let the fools out." So I guess it's like the same thing when you graduate from school and think you know it all. I mean, we do that, but I learned just by living. I mean, I went to college and all that, but I didn't. I learned the things that I really need to survive by just living and paying attention. Most people don't pay attention. They go. I mean, it's so. When you think about it, it's so ridiculous. I remember the day what was yesterday? They had the little kid out in San Francisco selling bottled water, and it was hot. It was pretty hot, and she was selling it close where the ball club was. The woman gets on the phone and says she calling the police. Did the kid have her permit? So the mother decided she was gonna tape it, and they gave her a name like they did in Oakland. They called that woman Barbecue Becky or something because she had called on the black guys who were out in the park barbecuing. And I'm saying, this is ridiculous. I had to laugh at brother and get angry because I'm saying, now who does she think she is? Now she's become the police because she's a white woman. That's how I said it, and that's how I looked at it. So it went viral, and next week, the people in Oakland, all of them gathered up in the park to have a barbecue, the black people especially. They had a barbecue. The people that sell barbecue even went out there giving free barbecue away. And that was their response to Barbecue Becky, okay? So this time, the woman said they was keeping up too much noise, and she was just kidding about calling the police, and she didn't really mean it, but the kid happened to be a black kid. So, it's like everything tells us we get treated different in the sense of racism, classism, whatever you want to call it. And I'm saying, okay, when we realize we're all born to the human race, white people don't realize how crazy racism and the way you think that you better. And I think they think nobody black in San Francisco should live here anymore. That's what I really believe they think. They just came on the scene, but they think no black belongs here. But then, well, hello, we got a black mayor now and a female black mayor. They did everything they could on the board of supervisors to undermine the woman. Dianne Feinstein, who was senator from San Francisco, California senator in Washington for the last 100 years. I don't know how many, but too many. But anyway, she was the board of supervisors president when Moscone got killed, who was the mayor at the time. Well, she automatically being the president of the board of supervisors gets to be the mayor. Well, Ed Lee died. He was the mayor of San Francisco. London Breeze, who was a black lady, was on the board of supervisors and president of the board of supervisors. And the people got together that was on the board of supervisors and said it was not fair because she would have had an advantage of being the mayor because don't ask me why. It didn't make sense to me what they said because I dismissed what they said because I knew it was a lie. So they said, oh, she's in bed with the millionaires. That's what billionaire. But yet, the one they decided to appoint was a billionaire white boy. Okay? Tell me, what was that all about? The election came on June 5th. Okay? So what they did the ranked choice vote. Means that the last two candidates could combine their votes and possibly beat, even if they got number one, the number one votes, most of them. But what happened is that she got them, and she beat them anyway. And now she is the mayor of San Francisco, rightfully so. But that's what I'm saying. There's that classism. There's that racism. You got everything you got the gamut. You got the whole gamut of things in that particular scenario right there. Happened right in this city. And then I'm saying, what is up? All of a sudden, I don't know if it's Trump saying, okay, it's okay to be racist. You can be racist now. And the people reacting to it. I'm saying, but nobody's going to go back to where they were. I don't know. White folks can go back there mentally, but we're not going back. So you know, it's. I mean, things are okay. Like I said, people go to school, but the truth of the matter is, most of the stuff you go to school in it kind of dumbs you down in a way, because the theory is different than reality. When you get in the mess for real, it just doesn't seem to be the same to me. Now that's my opinion about it. It's just like people and the doctor. They go to the doctor like, okay, the woman said to me one day, she says something about she had some aches and pains. I said, well, I want to know, who is your God? Who is your God? Is it the doctor? Is it you? Who is it? That's what you got to decide in your life. Who is your God? It's either going to be you, your doctor, or whoever you choose. But you got to answer that question, not for me, but for you. So, people need to wake up and know. And not, I mean, it's like we don't think. We need to learn how to think. School does not make you think. It makes you think within the confines of those parameters that they give you to think within. But outside of that, you can forget it. It's like my cousin was talking to me today, and she said, I asked her, did her daughter have a job yet? She has a master's in business. Her friends have a master's in the business. They've been working for the pharmaceutical companies. They laid them off, and I'm saying, okay, why would you want to be a drug pusher? Because that's what it is. It's just a legal drug dealer. And I'm saying, why can't you and your friends who have a business degrees get together and decide to start a business on your own? Because eventually, like it or not, that's where we're going. People are tired of corporations and they BS. They are going to do small co-ops within their own neighborhoods and stuff. That's the trend. Whether we can see it or not, that's the way we're going. And that's the only way we're going to survive. Because the corporations are all intertwined with the banks, the Congress. All those people are the same people. If you read books and stuff on really banking, telling you how it really works, you'll see the same players all the time at some point. I don't care if it's in this country, another country, or whatever. They're all involved in the collusion, I call it. Okay? They run the financial system. There's no such thing as a honest ran banking financial system. It's all in collusion with each other, and that's why the money is at the top. And you think it's going to trickle down at the bottom? No. The people at the bottom got to make sure they pull it down where they are, because it's not going to fall down eventually. But I don't know.
To be honest with you, I think that we should all do an assessment of our environment. And when I say environment, I mean this in the context of the country in which we live in. And if we do a real deep analysis of the United States of America and its growing zones, we can come to the conclusion that might can affect some change in our life. I do. I look at it. I say I do. I look at it this way. We perform one of the most interesting things. I think every 4 years or every 8 years, by going out and voting for the president of the United States. Now, what is interesting to me is when Walmart elects a new president for their store, nobody goes out and votes. But the United States of America is a corporation. It was incorporated on a particular date. So we were running out voting for a president of a corporation. It is amazing that we do that. We stand out in the rain, see the hills, and we don't realize that the corporation, the president for the corporation has already been pre-selected long before the last president got out of office. So we stand out in the rain from that. We take a poll. We don't know what a poll is. A poll is just an opinion. That's all.
Right. There you go. Well, it's not just an opinion. It really is to influence you. Opinions are always to influence you, especially when they are put out through the media, whether it's newspaper, whatever, computers or whatever. That is to influence you. Just like I said, the banking system, it's not just in America. You got to look at the whole world to really understand the banking system and the financial system. Okay? Almost right on cue. It goes down and it comes up. Where does the money go? I mean, I was always wondering, where did the money really go? If you got an inflation, does that mean, really what does an inflation mean? That means the money is not there according to them, or the money is too, but it's never really explained intricately where people, the average Joe, can understand it. They may pretend they do, but they don't. And I guarantee the average person working that banking system, they don't understand it either. Okay? That's how smart we are. Because most of the things that we involved in, we don't understand it. And the rest of us are just entities that other people, a few people, make a whole lot of money off of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we're going to have to start taking
people
control.
Don't want to know it. When we go to work every day, we have no say in that work that we do. We have no say in where that company is going. Only a very few at the top. Then the CEO, who hasn't done anything, don't have no real meaning of the work. It's the small people who do the work. They have no say, and the CEO get all the money from their fruits of labor, not from his own. Because without them, he is nobody. And I don't care what corporation it is. You name me one that the workers don't make that corporation, and the fools out here like us that buy from them. When we don't like what they do, we need to close their doors, and we have the power to do that. Okay? We act like they are the gods of us, and they are not. We make them, whether we buying or whether we working for them. We make them. They don't make us. They make us crazy.
You're right about that. You are absolutely correct.
Opioids and all that. They leave town, and these are white people now. That these white people and these white corporations are leaving town, but yet there's the racism against the blacks. For what? We've never done anything to you except decided we didn't want to be your slave. That's what we've done to you. We don't even blame you. We just keep trying. We just keep plugging along. But you blame us for some. You go down the street. You're moving. You're holding your purse. You probably don't have as much money in your purse as I got in my sock. But that's your mentality, too. You need to look at what affects you. And we can laugh at that. Because you have no power over us. You think you do. Because you have an illusion. Because while you looking at us, they've already decided what they going to do or not do for you. Where's these places where the opioid is the most rampant? Where the jobs is gone. Because now you identify with your job. Now you don't have an identity. So what you going to do? Because you've been trained to be that job. The job is what you work at. It's not who you are. But that's what most people believe. They really believe that's who they are.
That's right.
But you're not. And not only do you need to know who your nationality are, you need to know who you are as a human being. And stop being everything somebody else tells you that you are. You go to school to get indoctrinated. 100%. You go to school to get indoctrinated away from yourself. Yet it's so contradictory. Oh, you got to be self-supporting. Okay? Oh, but you take all the stuff away. You throw it in one side of the place. and you miseducate a group of people because you say you're smarter, only because you can't stand competition. Because if you were smarter, you wouldn't worry about that other race or that other people. You would just let them flow by themselves. But the cops would shoot them in the back, you know. I mean, the white boy blew up the whole church. I mean, the whole theater. He blows up his school of his own kind. And somehow he has to shoot himself to get out of it. You're not shooting him. Why? The question is, ask yourself why. What kind of human being are you? Not what kind of human being that you projected on another group of people, but who are you? Do you know who you are? Because you're reacting to stupidity that somebody else told you who those people are, but they didn't tell you who you are. They just told you were superior, and you really believe that. That's the saddest part in my mind of all. Everywhere you've been, mister, you've destroyed and lied on others. Find your own truth. You'll be happier, healthier, wiser, probably even richer. But you buy into the BS. I'm done.
Yeah.
Well,
let me say this too, Sister Emma. That was brilliant. You brought out a whole lots of points about this. You were talking about the white male, and we talk about the white male on this program a lot because why? Because the white male has destroyed this country. The white male has confused the whole entire world of humanity, including his own race.
Right.
Out of ignorance, he has done that. Our ancestors, the ancient Egyptians, have tried to make this white male civilized for 2,350 years. He doesn't get it. I continue to go and walk through life and wreak havoc on humanity, including himself. He terrorized every inch of this planet that we call Earth, and every human is walking this Earth as a human being. You got 80 billion humans walking this Earth of all races, creeds, and color. He has terrorized every one of them, including his own race. So therefore, he is inferior, uncivilized, savage. And he has created an institution for himself that has affected all of humanity. That institution that he's created was created off of lies, deceit, murder, injustice, corruption, greed, terrorism, militarism, sexism, racism, slavery, exploitation, evil, death, destruction, bombs, guns, bullets, violence, plunder, rape, hate, white supremacy, hypocrisy, religion, mythology, and perverted scholarship. And if you can add some more to that, go ahead. It's open for you to do just that. But that's his institution. And he has destroyed this whole entire world. He has put things out there in the world that is destructive to all of humanity, including himself. So, Sister Emma, you are absolutely right, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you laid it on the line, put it out there, and nobody on earth can say that you were wrong, but you were absolutely right. And you got that information not by going to school. You got that information because you went to the University of Emma McGowan, and you only took from the regular miseducated school that you went to, that you and all of us in America went to get our miseducation. You took what they taught you in the 3rd or 4th or 5th grade, which is an alphabet. With that alphabet, you learn how to read, write, and spell. And then they taught you arithmetic, okay? A certain portion of arithmetic. So you took that in. So that was the essence and the foundation of your education. The others, information that you have taken into your life, you had to learn it on your own from the University of Emma McGowan. Tarhaka Black had to learn from his own institution, the Tarhaka Black University. Brother Yoel had to go to the Yoel University. And I, Walter Williams, had to go to the University of Walter Williams. So what you said is very poignant, and it's very needed at this time, because your information and the words that came out of your mouth, this program that Tarhaka and platform that Tarhaka has laid out and presented and provided for people like you, me, Yoel, and others to come on, will give our people a chance to hear the words coming from this guest on this program once a month at the end of the last Sunday of every month. These words is heard by the community worldwide, Africans and other races of people that tune into this radio station and pick up this conversation that we're carrying on at this very moment. So that, with the words that we have spoken on this program, has given us a foundation to give to our people, the foundation for them to evolve. And I want to thank you, Brother Yoel, Sister Emma McGowan, and, of course, Brother Tarhaka Black. Thank all three of you all. Thank you. May I Hotep, I'm still here, and let's continue on with our program to the end.
Okay.
Brother Tarhaka?
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. And Sister Emma, we appreciate you dropping that information on us involving this classism thing. And we're going to be, later on in another broadcast, we're going to be dealing with the sexism part, the capitalism, the racism, and all of that. Brother Yoel, you still with us? Brother Yoel, are you still there? I don't know, maybe
yes,
Yoel.
I am. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I thought you had to witness people on us, man.
No. Oh, man. Well, I got you, man.
Okay. How do you
she
see classism in Chicago? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Sister Emma touched on something that she was giving her assessment, and that was that the guy at the top that gets all the profits from the little bitty people on the bottom. But guess what? What that says is that's class. He's getting all the money, and he's falling into a class that's considered the money man, and he wouldn't be any good except that he had the little bitty people on the bottom though. So everybody is relevant, no matter how much money, what color, what complexion, or whatever. Everybody is relevant to the equation, because this equation has many variables inside of it, and you have to look at all the variables if you want to get the correct solution to the problem. If you're trying to get a solution, and so that was a good point of bringing that out and talking about the guy at the top and him collecting, him getting profiting from the little bitty people at the bottom. But we all know that there's a little saying that goes, if you want to know what's going on a job, you want to see the boss, go ahead. But if you want to know what's going on, you better talk to the people who are working. And that's class. Those are the people who know what's going on. So I'm going to be looking forward to part 2, but this was pretty intense. I meant to have done my research and my homework and presented some statistics and whatnot, but I didn't get a chance to get that together because I had to go out and do something, which required me leaving home. But anyway, I appreciate you, brother. Everybody, likewise, I appreciate sharing and communicating with each other. And, of course, you, Professor Williams, Sister Emma, and everybody else that called in and shared anyway today, and those who were listening. Sometimes the ones that are listening got a little bit something to say, but sometimes they be a little bit gun-shy about coming on and expressing that, their opinions. But don't be. Call in next time. Be bold enough to do that. And participate in the conversation.
We still got 33 minutes. They can hit 1 on the dial right now. And 310-982-4184. Press 1 on your phone. That'll give me an indication you have something to say.
There was a sister that was a sister, since you mentioned that, from Houston, heard the program with you and Professor Williams on it, and she called me. Her name is Iris from Houston, Texas, and she wanted to get more information. This week, I just sent her Professor Williams' books. As a matter of fact, she called me, Professor Williams, Friday, and said she got them a day early.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And she's going to start reading them right away. So that she heard it on YouTube, Tarhaka. So that avenue is working as well.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We got a lot of people that go back and listen to the broadcast, and they state their opinions down in the comment section and stuff, which is good. And but what I really, really look forward to people doing is the best thing to do is to get on the broadcast with us. Let us know what you think. Don't be scared. We don't bite. Well, not that hard. But come on in, and we ain't gonna beat nobody up. We want to hear what you think about this stuff. I mean, because me personally, I try to deal with facts. And when you start telling me about what you believe, now we're talking about opinions. So just give me the facts, and that'll be good enough for me. And it can be measured. If there's some investigation that we can do, because there are people who are still insisting that, well, I believe in Jesus and God and this. Okay, well, we're not beating you up about that. We're just asking you to provide us some facts. If you got the Bible, my question to you is, who wrote it? Who wrote the New Testament? Who wrote the Old Testament? What is it that we know about it? Because you can go in a manufacturer that make books, and you can see pages from the Bible all down there on the floor. While they're making the book, that page, that ink on that page didn't come out right, so they throw that away and put another page. Well, wait a minute. What about the holiness and all of that? We don't care nothing about that. Sweep it up, put it in the garbage can, dump it in the outside of the big dumpster. So, we these are the facts.
But we don't practice it. But we don't practice it even after supposedly believing. So if you believe some, don't you usually practice it?
Mhm.
So they're not being honest about believing it because they're not practicing it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you believe in something, then you should be able to expound on everything about what you believe in. Don't take and tell me about you believe in this and this, that, and the other, and you got one document that you don't know absolutely nothing about as some proof. That's not making a whole lot of sense. You know, you tell me don't wear that hat to my house no more because I don't believe in that. It ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. Okay, well, tell me exactly what it is that you know about this hat. I don't know nothing about it. All I know, it ain't of Jesus, so I don't. This is the way a lot of us think. You know, we actually think like that. You know, if you don't know nothing about something, what are you talking about? What is it that you can say if you don't know anything about it? All you know is you believe. Mm-hmm. So we got these kind of things going on, but this classism thing, I wanted people to understand that this thing engulfs the entire United States. We got this. In my opinion, there ain't no middle class. We ain't got nothing but rich and poor. That's it. But we got people who actually agree. Well, you know, I'm a part of the middle class. You know, what is that?
Just like poor and rich, they vary in degrees.
Right.
Bank
Well,
accounts,
I get
should I say, in bank account.
There you go.
Okay. Well,
the middle class is the people. The middle class is the people that go to work every day and make it possible for the rich to have. Those are the. They're in the middle of the rich and the poor.
Okay, that's who they is. I was wondering. I'm trying to figure out who they is.
They in between the rich and the poor, and they trying to justify it by saying they in the middle, but they call them, they attach class onto it.
Well, it's very, very interesting because ain't no money in America. You can take a dollar bill to get you a magnifying glass. I don't care if it's $1 or $100 bill. You can put both of them on the scale. They both weigh the same thing. You take a magnifying glass and look on the front and the back. You don't see the word money on it nowhere. So what's going on?
Well, but
it was
you
time.
See how.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Sister Emma.
It was a time.
No, I was going ahead. No, I was listening to him.
Oh. Hold on a minute. It was a time that you could go and see the money truck pull up, and they bring big old giant bags of money out of what we thought was money. And but now we see them come out with big old bags full of paper and receipts and very little cash. You know, which is regarded as money, but it ain't no money. We're in a country that's masquerading as a country, operating as a corporation. We're president at the helm, no money, still operating in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And it's against the law for you to pull out some money. We got private and we got public. If most people don't know, when we deal with money, cash, that we supposed to exchange that between each other. We don't get in trouble till we go in the store and we pick up a can of string beans, but the most valuable part of the entire transaction is the receipt. It's amazing.
But the banks don't really have a lot of money. They make the interest off of you.
All the real money is through your labor and your efforts. That's where the money at. That's where your labor and your efforts is the money. When they give you a paycheck, that means you work for a company for 10 or 20 years, and they give you a paycheck every week for 10 or 20 years. That means that you ain't never got paid because they ain't gave never some paper for some debt notes that don't have to worry money nowhere on it. We got a problem here, man.
Well, that's why it's so active. That's why it's so easy to. But that's why it's so easy to inflate it because it's all digital.
Yeah, just numbers in a computer.
That's why it's so easy to make it go away and come back.
Yeah, you going to in a bank. I'm going to rob the bank. Well, you in the wrong place. Ain't no money in there. What you gonna do? Shoot somebody over some dead notes? You know something wrong with it. Got dead people on the cover. Common sense.
We live in an illusionary world, and when we get smart, we'll start creating our own illusions about the world.
Yeah, you get.
But
it's all right for us. They print. They got the
illusion.
They print out paper and circulate and just print it out as thin air circulated in the United States. So the question is, okay, well, how much real money backing it up? If we got $1, do we have a piece of silver or gold that's backing that dollar up? And if we ain't, then
not anymore.
We got a problem.
Not anymore.
So why is we out in the street killing one another and robbing the bank, robbing the store, and all this right here for? What we do all this for?
Emma?
It's amazing.
I have no
clue. Right.
I have no clue why we do the things we do. I don't know why we even get high, but the question is, they want to put people in jail for getting high. They put people in jail for getting high and addicted to drugs, and I'm saying the question should be, why in the United States, where this is supposed to be the land of the milk and honey, why do people even need to get high?
Well, it's amazing because they finna do their thing now. They fixing to make marijuana legal. And everybody said nothing about lawful. Yeah,
you know what? Wasn't there more money in it when it was illegal? Wasn't those the big players? Wasn't they getting more money? The reason why they was reluctant. Okay.
Yeah, they figured they'd have milked it now. They'll turn it over to us now.
Yeah, it's still under the same tax system, class system. We'll let the big rich companies, who got all that stolen land, grow the crop on there.
That's
and then that way, when the fools get out there and go to the store and buy the marijuana, don't know what it's laced with, don't know what kind of chemicals on it, or none of that, and get to becoming more and more dysfunctional. Then we still have control. We still got the class system going on. It's the same old thing. Same thing about bootlegging. Back in the prohibition era, it's gives us the law. We're gonna buzz up your steel, but now that the government has got control, the majority of control, now you can walk in a liquor store and buy a bottle of liquor, and with a government seal on it. And you're going to have to pay your taxes and buy that liquor. The government getting all the money now. So one gangster put another gangster out of business. And now we've hung a title on it called it's now officially legal. And keep in mind, we use the word lawful. We use the word legal. It's legal for you now to go in a bar and buy some moonshine. But now we want you to drink this moonshine. And when you drink the moonshine, you get intoxicated. You want to beat up your wife. You want to get in the car. You want to swerve all across the road and stuff. Now we can tax you for that. We're going to let you buy it. And when you get drunk, then you owe us money.
That's true. But okay, so the digital coin is coming about. Okay, so we was talking about money. Now what about about Bitcoin and all those things?
Oh, it's all those the same thing. It's just numbers on a computer. See, it ain't no money. That's what we got to get.
Okay, just what you were saying about the government and the control, but see, the government don't have control of it yet. It will be the next big thing when the government gets control and start regulating and put things on it, what you call legal things on it. Right now, they haven't been able to do that, but they will.
They working on it. They gonna get it done. We gonna have to work.
Yeah, right. That's
they
what
have
I'm
done
saying.
the same thing. Everything in America is still legal or illegal. We still got mental slavery. It's legal. You can't, if you don't send your children to school for us to miseducate them, we're gonna push you into it. You're a delinquent parent.
Well, and you got to think about another thing too. Now, these immigrant kids that they separating from their parents, what is that really all about? That's my question. What is it really
all about? The same thing it's always been about. It's about money. When you're born in the United States and your mother signed a birth certificate, you're now officially property owned by the state. Okay, so now the state can dictate to you because you're attached to this fiction. When you get married and you get a pastor to come in and perform your wedding ceremony and the marriage, pronounce you man and wife, what he does is he takes those records down there and registers them at the county recorder's office. Now you're both been sold into slavery, and your child is now property. Anything that come out of that union is now officially property of the state. You see, but if you and your wife, if y'all cancel those contracts, and you and your wife write your own wedding vows, minus the minister, you get your book with all your wife's family members to sign it, all your family members sign that book as witnesses to the fact that you and your husband and wife, y'all performed the ceremony between you, and this is your contract. No state involved. That has been canceled. Everything operates on a continuous series of contracts. And when you start taking a close look at this thing, you just simply take the key out your pocket and unlock shackles and get shackles off your brain and stuff, and get on a whole different thing and make anybody that's going to tamper with that liable for messing with a man or a woman instead of property. You're either property or you're not. And so it's things that we can do about these things. Create your own
I don't know.
Create your own situation. Get out the class, and if you go be in a class, make sure it's a class you create. I be in class all the time. I be in Tarhaka Institute right here in my house.
If you don't know, Sister Emma, what he's saying is that the system that they've set up, that when they look at a marriage today as a union between two corporations, and the children that come out of that marriage is the profits that belong to them. Okay, that's how they look at marriage. And when you incorporate,
slavery was set up. It wasn't marriage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anytime a contract that you didn't create, it doesn't benefit you.
Incorporated minister who's been licensed.
They go that word.
Then he's there in the capacity of the state, not God.
Right.
If you think he's there for God, that's on you. But he's there for the state.
Right.
So I mean, I get sell you into slavery. He's gonna, when the state comes, your child called down and say, "Well, he hit me." Police come down and say, "Well, we're gonna take the children." Well, why? It's state property. How you gonna do that? That's state property. You didn't cancel the contract.
But they will never tell you that unless you something happens.
Yeah, I understand. Right. You're right. Absolutely right. But I just asked the question.
When you know better, you do better, and it's wonderful, to know law. But the legal and illegal and stuff, I leave that up to the lawyers. I ain't got time for all that foolishness because it doesn't have anything to do with law.
Law sometimes is a lewd assault on your wisdom.
Well, I look at it like this: if you know better, you do better. Research and study, and then use Well, what you learn? When I found out, I had one DVD disc, just one, and I kept looking at it over and over and over and over and over and over about this driving license thing until I got to the point where I had that thing down. I created my license plate, put them on my truck, created me some identification, got in that truck. I was looking for the popo because I had to test that. So I found a van load of DA agents, and they were behind me. I made sure they were behind me. But then they went around me. They said, "Okay, we don't know what this is, but we if he out here like this, he must be know something. We ain't gonna let none of it get on us." So they didn't mess with him. Finally, I got one stop. Then I got they tell, well, man, you know, I mean, it was a hoot. Because they didn't know, they don't know nothing about the law. They don't teach them anything about the law in the police academy. Nothing. The lawyers either. They don't know nothing about the law. When you break the law. And the little brother, it was a brother and it was a Caucasian cop riding together. And they pulled him over, and he said, "You are not that's not the proper tag that you're supposed to have." I said, "Okay." They said, "Do you have a driver's license?" I said, "No." I said, "I got it identification." They let me see it. So I get to him, he go up to the car, and he just calling all on the phone. And the brother, he looking in the book. The brother said, "Man, come here a minute, man. What is this?" I said, "That's my identification." I said, the United States will interfere with my right to make contract. That's my contract. There's a photograph right there. There's a copy of the manufacturer of the vehicle. They got my right to travel document. And there's liability right there if anybody interfere with them rights. You know, man, I ain't never seen this before. I said, "You looking at it now?" Man,
wow.
Well, we been checking out. I said, check. Look, we ain't taking you to jail. I said, "I wish you would." I said, "Yo, you know what? If you do." But anyway, they let me go. And then one night, they said, we gonna check him out. They pulled me over. I was going to have to pull across the bridge and pull on the bar light. And everybody, after that, about 30 of them came. About 30 police officers. They come, "We got him again. We got him." So they want to say, "Well, what kind of ID you got?" So I give them the ID because it was a book with several pages in it. It was a notebook. That's my ID. And they went to thumbing through it and looking through it, and there was one big tall one there. He was an older gentleman, gray-haired gentleman. Said, "Where you at?" He go over there. And he come over there and looked at me, and he waved at me. I waved at him. He took the book and went to looking through it, and he gave the book back to the officer that made the stop. The police, not officer. But he said, "Look here." He said, "You can do what you want to do. You can take him to jail or you can let him go." He said, "But when he starts suing, he ain't going to get me because I'm out of here." So he left, and when he got in his car, all other 30 of them got in their car and left me out there with him. He'll tell me, "Yeah, you know, I can take you to jail." I said, "You can't do nothing, man. Give me my book. Let me go." And I grabbed that book, got in my truck, almost backed over. He jumped out the way. I got on the road and went about my business. But after a while, it wasn't no more fun, so I put it down. But when you know law, protect yourself and make people liable for damages, put it in writing, get it signed, get it stamped, get it notarized, make sure they got a copy ahead of time. So when they go down, they can't say, "Well, we didn't know." You should have known. Too late now.
So what didn't those
but we don't,
people
try? We don't do nothing. Huh?
What about I thought the malicious people were saying some of that stuff, and then that's when the FBI and it got them.
Well,
they were saying about So what was different about that?
They had a boy. This boy now, you go right down over there on YouTube and look at it. His name was Charlie Sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Charlie Sprinkle, I think he was about 17 years old, and he was right out there in California. And they pulled him over, and they said, "Well, you know, we need to see your driving license." He said, "I don't have a driving license." He said, "I don't need a I'm not driving. Nobody's paying me. I'm not operating in commerce. I'm traveling, and that's the right. I have a right to do that. And the cop said, "Well, look, I'm gonna write you a ticket." He said, "You can't do that." And he wrote him tickets. So what Charlie did was Ronald Reagan was governor at the time, and he wrote him a letter explaining to him his rights and what went down. And Ronald Reagan wrote a letter back to the man telling him he broke the law. Well, that was a lie. And that means that Ronald Reagan was taking his wages under false pretenses. So what Charlie Springer did is sued him. He sued him. He sued the police. He sued about 16 of them at the same time. Ronald Reagan came to town and told the judge, "I need you to just throw that out because he's just a little young boy. He don't know what he's doing." The judge said, "I can't do that." He said, "Did you write this letter here?" He said, "Yes, I did." He said, "Well, if I throw this out," he said, "he can sue me. And he ain't going to get me because he got you." This is evidence right here. They worked on Charlie Springer. They worked on him for the longest. And finally, the lawyer came to him and said, "Look, can I talk to you in private?" He said, "No. Anything you got to say to me, say it to me in front of the judge." And they couldn't get him. They told him, say, "Look, could you just drop the lawsuit against the wives? Because he sued the wives and accessories after the cycle of a criminal life." And when that happened, all you know what broke loose, because it wasn't nobody getting no nookie until this is over. Y'all better get this straight now. So they couldn't get him to drop the lawsuit. So what they did was the Secret Service came to his house and told him, "Look, if you drop this lawsuit, we'll give you the run of the road and we'll never stop you again." He said, "I'll take it under advisement." He said when they left, he got in his sport car and blew past a state trooper going down the highway, blowing his horn at him. And he got behind him and pulled him over. He said, "Man, you know what you're doing?" He said, "Yeah, probably about 100 to 105. He said, "You got a driver's license?" He said, "No, I don't." He said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name's Charlie Springer." He said, "Oh, I just stopped to see if you needed some assistance." He said, "No, I think I can handle it on my own." Go over there, just type it into YouTube. Type in Charlie Sprinkle.
Okay.
It's right over there on
Charlie
YouTube.
Springer. Charlie Sprinkle.
Charlie Sprinkle. Charlie Sprinkle.
Sprinkle. Is he a real person? Okay.
Yeah. You see him. He can tell you a story.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
That's
now this kind of stuff, now you Springer, Charlie Springer.
Spell that last name.
SPRINKLE.
ENK.
Oh, it really is Sprinkle.
Yeah. Let me go in here. I tell you exactly where to go to get it. Charlie Springer.
And that's true. He was just daring enough to call them on it. He was daring enough to call them on it. That's all.
Yeah. Well, he knew the law because you got it. You're born with the right to travel.
That's right.
Charlie Sprinkle versus. It's really type in Charlie Sprinkle versus California. Yeah, right there. Charlie Sprinkle versus California. That's all you got to do. There, you sitting right there. Charlie Sprinkle on no license, not driving, traveling.
And you watch that over and over, huh?
No, that I didn't have that. I didn't find out that until after I had done already did, because I had one little video was talking about the driving license. That's all I had.
Okay.
I had nothing but that. When I studied that over and over and over, and when I realized I started studying about contracts, and I realized how the whole system was operating on the continuous series of contracts. Everything operates that way. You go in a grocery store, they're going to give you a receipt. You give them some paper or you give them a credit card. Everything operates on a continuous series of contracts. But the problem is we've been accepting and being a victim of everybody else's contract instead of learning how to create your own contract and send them the other way. You ain't right to do that.
Well,
create your own contract.
Well, I guess our whole life been a contract.
Yeah, that's what they get. It got you tied into the birth certificate, got you tied into the Social Security. All this stuff is on contract.
Yeah.
When you buy an automobile, it's automatically registered to the state. But if you read the fine print on the application at the bottom, it tells you can discharge your debt within 4 to 6 months. Well, that lady did that one time. She got my materials, and she ended up paying for the car. And she hadn't paid for the car, but she discharged the remainder of the debt on the car. And the car dealer called and said, "Why did you do that?" She said, "Did I break the law?" He said, "No, you didn't break the law, but I thought we were friends." She said, "Well, how we gonna be friends and you robbing me?" That was the end of that. No more car note, and she got the car.
Yeah, so how we gonna be friends and you robbing me, huh?
Yeah. I mean, but we don't read it. If you read the application, read the bottom of it, read the fine print. We don't want to read the fine print. Read the fine print. It tell you what you can do, what you can't do. We just be going along with fried ice cream, so we don't read it. We don't read the information. When you get credit card information, read it. Take the time to read everything in there. If they're telling you, well, we're going to be charged in 6 months, we will charge 8.9% interest, it's going to go up to 10.1. No, you send them a letter and say, well, first of all, you got the wrong fella, you got it addressed to the wrong individual. And second of all, I ain't going for no 10.1. I want to remain 6.5. And if you're not willing to make that adjustment, then you simply won't have me as a customer. But you have to read and, make the necessary adjustments. Ask questions.
But you know what? You're right in a lot of cases like that. That is so true. Yeah.
We had a boy, his name was, excuse me, this boy's name was Maynard. Maynard, he's sitting out there on a park bench by the bus station with a beer in his hand, drinking. The police pull up, he kept sitting, kept drinking. And the cop said, now, you know you're wrong for that. You know it's illegal for that. He said, well, I don't think so. He said, I feel like I have the right to do this. He said, you got an ID, gave him his ID. He went there and ran his ID on the computer, and the screen started blinking off and on. Do not detain, do not detain, do not detain, do not detain.
Oh, my God.
And he come back and he said, well, could you just kind of hide it a little bit and put it down? He said, who are you? He said, my name is Maynard. And Maynard was the type of person, see, Maynard knew the law. Maynard was helping a buddy, because he had to beat him up in the courtroom so bad, till the buddy came up and started talking and saying things like Maynard. And the judge looked past the guy, looked around there, he said, Maynard, is that you sitting there? He said, yes, Your Honor, it's me. He said, look, you and him, get out of here. Don't come back in here no more. Get out of here. Maynard, bad boy, he out there in Canada.
Yeah. Wow, it's very interesting points. So
it's all you told us it put you in a box. It's a class box.
Right.
You gotta get out of that box.
That's right. You gotta learn something when you get out of that. How not to get back in the box. So, Brother Tarhaka, I think are we near the end of our program?
That's right.
You want me to say a few words, or you want to take it out?
Yes, sir. Go ahead and give us your closing statements, y'all. And we'll close this thing on out and we'll come back.
I want to thank everybody for being on the program this evening. Sister McGowan and Brother Yoel. And I thank the caller from Nigeria that called in with his question. And and I also appreciate and thank you, Brother Tarhaka, for the program that you have provided for us to be here. So I want to give an individual or the people that are listening to this broadcast my email. Email me, Dr. Walter Williams, at ancientegyptian@msn.com. Ancient, ANCIENT, Egyptian, EGYPTIAN, @msn.com. When you email me, put your phone number there if you want to converse with me into a further conversation, put your email, and also with your email, put your phone number there. And then I'll get back to you, and then we can converse thereon. My two books is The Historical Origin of Christianity, whereby I'm saying there's never been a man that will walk the earth in human form or been a race, creed, or color by the name of Jesus Christ. Never existed. My second book is called The Historical Origin of Islam. I'm saying that there's never been a man that ever walked the earth in human form or the Islamic tradition. Never existed. And those two books you can buy at your local African bookstore in your area where you live, or you can go online at Amazon and buy the book that way. Or, better still, you got Brother Yoel. He's got a great bookstore right here in Chicago. It's called the Underground Bookstore, owned by our dear brother Yoel, who's on this program with us this evening. And you can reach him at area code 773-768-8869. Again, Brother Yoel, the Underground Bookstore. Reach him and order my books, The Historical Origin of Christianity, The Historical Origin of Islam, by calling him at area code 773-768-8869. And you can order my book and my books through the Underground Bookstore, Brother Yoel. So that's what I have to say. And you can pass it on to the next person and see what they have to say.
All right.
Okay.
We certainly appreciate you being here. Brother Yoel and Sister Emma McGowan.
Okay. Well,
thank you.
Like the good professor just said, thank you very much for having me on and sharing this information and giving us a platform by which to express this information. And the people sure listening probably thank you. You don't hear the thank yous sometimes that these people have in their mind, and they don't say it to you, but I'm sure a lot of folks out there thank you very much. And that Nigerian brother and other folks like Sister Irish out of Houston, thank you as well. So I am Brother Yoel from Underground Bookstore here in Chicago at 1727 East 87th Street. And you can email me also at theundergroundbookstore@gmail.com. theundergroundbookstore@gmail.com. You know, and I'd like to say to that listening audience that first and foremost, since we people of color, try to get the book from Black Bookstore in your area or on their website, and then you go to the other people. That's it. Thank you very much, brother.
All right. Sister McGowan.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I thank the audience for listening. And I hope I was informed some, if not all. Thank you.
Well, I certainly appreciate y'all for being on, and we come to the end of the broadcast. I've been your host, Tarhaka Black Awareness. Until next time, y'all have a good evening, okay?
Yes, brother, I'll be in touch with you.
Okay.
You've been listening to Moorish Talk Live 100 with Tarhaka Black Awareness. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Peace.